Hi, I'm Molly.
And I'm Jaymie, and this is our From the Pasture with Hired Hand podcast. As the owners of Hired Hand website software, we've been developing websites and creating internet marketing strategies for livestock breeders for the past 10 years.
The majority of our customers are involved in the breeding of registered animals, such as Texas longhorns, Highland cattle, horses, and white-tailed deer, where the pedigrees are very important. The From the Pasture with Hired Hand podcast examines many of the differences in raising pedigreed livestock for maximum profit. Join us and learn what we're covering today.
On today's podcast, we're going to be going over a bunch of different statistics related to Hired Hand Live's internet bidding. We're going to be covering the information and stats from 20 sales that we worked this year in terms of live auctions. We're also going to be going over a lot of statistics and information from the monthly Hired Hand customer sales that we've been having on Hired Hand Live. And then we're going to go over some of the top finishers in the NLFR. So thank you for joining us today, and let's get started.
For those of you who do attend the sales that we are at in person, if you'd like to receive the text updates that we send, you can text website.longhorns to the number 888-700-8131. Again, that's website.longhorns to 888-700-8131.
So across the 20 sales that we worked for Hired Hand Live, there were a total of 1,514 total lots consigned to those sales. And the 2024 overall total was $7,129,755 sold, which meant that the 2024 annual average was $5,356. If you look at just the amount sold online and the online average, that total was $1,021,500, and the average was $3,510.
There were 317,981 total views of consignments online with just under 1,600 registered internet bidders.
If we look at the most viewed lot across all the lots and all of the sales that utilized Hired Hand Live, the most viewed actually came from the Friday night legacy sale, and it was lot number 21, All Gussied Up, which was consigned by Lonesome Pines Ranch. She received 1,653 unique hits.
Next, we're going to go over the top 5 sellers that were in person.
The 5th highest selling lot overall to an in-person buyer this year occurred during the Glendenning Fiesta Heifer for Charity sale. It was lot number H33, HH100 Roses, consigned by HH Cattle Company, and she sold for $65,000.
In 4th place came from the Legend Saturday sale. It was lot 17, HL Rios Alpha, consigned by DR Henry Ranch. She sold for $75,000 to the Philip Whitlock Hengler Partnership.
And that same partnership was also responsible for purchasing the 3rd highest selling lot to an in-person buyer, also during the Legend Saturday sale. And that animal was lot number 12, SDR Spicy, consigned by Diamond B Cattle Company for $80,000.
And the 2nd highest selling lot overall for an in-person buyer was at the Glendenning Fiesta sale, lot 30, TCC Danny, consigned by LM Longhorns. She sold for $110,000 to Floyd Clark Gibbons Whitlock Partnership.
And we actually have a tie for the number 1 highest selling lot overall to an in-person buyer. They both occurred during the Fort Worth sale, one on Friday and one on Saturday. So now I'll read those tied animals for you. On Friday night, lot number 3H0 HL Cherished, consigned by Hudson Longhorns, sold for $120,000 to Bentwood Ranch. And on Saturday, lot number 32, Saddle Jewel, consigned by DCT Cattle Company, sold for $120,000 to the Philip, Chris, Clark, Gibbons, Landys, Whitlock Partnership.
Now we're going to go over the top 5 sellers of 2024 to online buyers. Molly, you want to take the first one?
Yeah, coming in at number 5 during the Legacy Friday night sale was lot number H4, LL Rodos, consigned by Lut Longhorns, and she sold for $22,000 to Chris Clark via Hired Hand Live.
The 4th highest selling lot to an online buyer was from the Bluegrass Friday sale, was lot H15, KDK Wild Wanda, consigned by KDK Longhorns, who sold for $22,500 to Dean and Sandra Woodlock.
Coming in at the third highest selling lot online was lot number H9, BRD Nile, during the Legacy Heifer Sale. She was consigned by Diamond B Longhorns, and she sold for $26,500 to Hunter Bolte.
And coming in at number 2 came from the Legends Saturday Sale, was lot 29, which was an embryo, and it was consigned by Richard and Jeannie Phillip and Chad and Janelle Smith, the RJF SL partnership. It sold for $36,400 to Robert Floyd.
And topping out the list of highest selling lots over Hired Hand Live is BCR Wanted Woman 648. She was lot number 23 in the Longhorn Legacy Sale. She was consigned by Laid Back Ranch and sold for $70,000 to Chris Clark. As always, we'd really like to thank all of the people who either watched, registered to bid, or purchased online for Hired Hand Live for those sales that they couldn't attend. We always appreciate you all, and also always enjoy following along with your excitement when you win a bid or get to take part in a sale that you couldn't attend. So thank you all for that.
And a few other internet influence stats are there was $1,021,500 value added through internet bidding, with just over 4,400 online bids, and there were just under 300 lots sold online to 132 different online buyers.
That's a pretty exciting stat, Jaymie. So 132 different Longhorn breeders purchased animals through the internet in 2024.
Yeah, 300 animals. That's quite a few animals as well.
That is. Should we go over the National Longhorn Futurity Race end-of-year results now?
Yeah, we'll kick it off with the heifers. So the NLFR leaderboard for the heifer race, these were heifers that were born in 2022 to 2023. You want to take it and read the first one?
Sure. So coming in at number 5 is O.L. Sagal. She has a date of birth of 2/5/23. She was entered into the futurities by Oliver Longhorns and ended the year with 2,448.25 points.
In fourth place is River Oaks Gypsy Rose. Date of birth is 10/4/22, and she was entered by Travis Johnson. She ended with 2,465.93 points.
Moving into the top 3, number 3 is M7 Roses Valentine. Date of birth 2/14/23. Owned by M7 Longhorns, and she ended the NLFR race for this year with 2,915.58 points.
In second place was M7 Ace of Spades. Date of birth is 12/2/22, entered by M7 Longhorns, and she ended with 2,922.88 points.
And winning the heifer race for this year, according to the NLFR results, is 50 Grand BCC, date of birth 5/8/22, owned by John and Natalie Cheney, receiving 2,981.26 points. Something fun to note about this is that one of our upcoming podcast releases will actually be interviewing Natalie Cheney, and she talks about her breeding program, but also about just everything she learned and all of the futurities she attended in 2024 to, be able to have that high place heifer. So we definitely recommend you give a listen to that.
Moving on to the bulls leaderboard. These bulls were also born between 2022 and 2023. Coming in at fifth place is Metallic Boom. Date of birth is 2/22/23, entered by Natalie Cheney. He ended with 1,559 points.
The fourth highest placing bull of the year was Box Office 158/3, date of birth 4/18/23, owned by Terry and Tammy King with 1,588 points.
In third place was O.L. Ragnarok. Date of birth is 4/15/23, entered by Oliver Longhorns. He ended with 2,005.5 points.
Coming in at number 2 was O.L. Cash Out, date of birth 6/5/23, also owned by Oliver Longhorns, not too far away from his other bull with about two more points, 2,007.5 points.
And the winner of the NLFR leaderboard for the bull race was One Cool Hombre. His date of birth is 3/7/23. The One Cool Hombre partnership is who entered him, and he ended with 2,502.7 points.
All right, now let's go over the last NLFR leaderboard that Huntington Sales and Service has posted to their website. And this one is for the top dams of futurity heifers and bulls born in 2022 to 2023.
In fifth place is HL Rose Garden. Her one progeny, had 2,915.58 points.
And the fourth highest dam also just had one progeny competing. They received 2,981.26 points in the race this year, and that dam's name is JP Grand Casey Pizzazz.
Coming in at number 3 is Sweet Maxie EOT, who had 3 progeny, and she ended with 3,104.25 points.
And the runner-up was Casino's Wild Card, with 2 progeny competing and receiving 3,143.38 points.
And leading the list of the top dams was Native Dreams. She had 5 progeny that participated, and she ended with 4,679.95 points.
One thing to note here is if you get excited about hearing about dams who are having, offspring out there that are, receiving awards and doing great or just getting some attention, we would encourage you to listen to our upcoming podcast release episode with Dale Hunt and Ryan Culpepper, where we talk with them about a lot of the data from hired hand websites regarding females. So where we go over the most viewed females for the year, as well as across the lifetime of sites. Some of the longest horn females with public measurements, and then a few other data categories as well.
And the last list from the NLFR leaderboard is the top sires. Again, these were top sires from the heifers and the bulls that participated in futurities in 2024 that were born between 2022 and 2023.
Coming in at number 5 is HL Django. He had 16 progeny compete throughout the year and received 10,943.28 points.
In fourth place was HL Heads Up. There were 17 progeny that participated, and he ended with 11,924.4 points.
The third place bull had 25 offspring competing this year. He received 12,531.98 points, and his name is HL Higher Ground.
In second place is Hubble 20 Gauge. He had 32 progeny that participated, and he ended with 17,488.75 points.
And coming in at first place is MC Hangin' Tough. He received 17,750.45 points for his 37 progeny that competed. And another plug here for one of our recent releases on our podcast is we highly suggest you go back and listen to the episode where we interviewed Brian and Mary Stahl, the breeders of MC Hangin' Tough, as well as other bulls with the MC prefix who are very well known. They shared a lot about how they got involved with longhorns, how they met, and what their future plans are for their small breeding operation.
To view a list of the futurities that are participating in the 2025 NLFR, those can be found on Huntington Sales websites, in addition to all the results from the 2024 futurities. And if you're interested in finding the consignment deadlines, consignment forms, catalogs for 2025, those can be found on our Hired Hand Lives website at hiredhandlive.com/sales.
You can also find more detailed post-sale reports like the data we just recapped here for sales using Hired Hand Live, going all the way back to 2017 on our website at hiredhandlive.com/reports, or you can search recap in our podcast episodes to listen to our short roundups after each sale in 2024.
Hidden Springs Ranch, located in central North Carolina, is committed to registered Texas Longhorns. From our high-end breeding stock down to our delicious Longhorn beef sticks. Check us out at hslonghorns.com or on Instagram at Hidden Springs Ranch. Hidden Springs Ranch, where they're bred to turn heads.
Do you sometimes feel like you're the only one who doesn't have it all figured out? Rural life can be isolating, but it doesn't have to be.
Welcome to Ag's Most Okayest Farm Girls, the podcast for women who are craving connection, laughter, solidarity, camaraderie, and just overall encouragement in your everyday life and dreams.
Each week, your hosts, Annalise, that's me, and Courtney will cover topics such as farm life, mom life, making money online, side hustles, hobbies, sharing on social media, jobs off the farm, and so much more.
Us rural gals need to stick together, so saddle up for some fun, real, and unsolicited advice and stories from our everyday farm lives.
Grab a drink, we're Ag's Most Okayest Farm Girls, and we're here to help. Listen wherever you find podcasts.
Looking for top quality Longhorns and a taste of true Texas spirit? Look no further than Cantera Cattle Company. Our passion for Longhorns shines at Old Gringo Ranch, where tradition meets excellence. Visit us online at CanterraCattleCompany.com and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok for the latest updates and ranch life fun. Ready to experience it yourself? Schedule your visit by emailing canterracattle@gmail.com. Remember, God is great, Longhorns are good, and life is crazy.
Love what you're hearing? Be sure to check out our Pickup Truck Confessions. It's a video series where we hop in the truck or rental car and interview a variety of breeders about what drives their passion for their livestock, how they got started in the breed of their choice, marketing tips, and more. And now, back to the podcast.
Now we're going to go over some stats from our Hired Hand monthly sales that we host on Hired Hand Live, and just a little background on these. So we've been doing these for about a year and a half now, and how it works is that any Hired Hand website customer, so anyone with one of our websites, can submit one animal per month to this sale for no consignment fee and no commission. They are also in complete control of their starting bid, their reserve, and their optional buy now price. So it's a great way for them to market their animals, but also control some of the pricing aspects, and just put them out there as a way for people to bid on or purchase through the buy now option. Jaymie, I know you've told me quite a bit, some folks you have talked to, that maybe if their animal doesn't even sell, they still get visitors to their ranch, or they still get someone looking at their website and purchase a different animal because they were looking at their sale animal. So just some all around great marketing here going on.
For sure. So we should note that these stats go from January to November of 2024. And there were 44 animals sold in the Hired Hand monthly sales for a total value of $94,350 with an overall average of $2,194.
The highest selling animal this year in one of our monthly sales was HL Royal Rose, who sold for $9,500 and was submitted to the sale by our website customers, Bull Creek Longhorns.
There were 33 different online buyers, and 14 of the animals that were purchased, or 31% of the animals sold via our buy now feature. So it's definitely a popular feature for, I guess, sellers and the buyers.
Yeah, and it's been interesting to see like how people use the buy now feature. So, it doesn't have to be the same as their private reserve. It can be, I think some people try to figure out like the averages of heifers or the averages of maybe yearling bulls, or, just put the price out there that they really hope they're getting, or the one where they maybe wouldn't let it, the bottom amount they would let it go for. But the buy now feature has been really popular, and I think really fast as well. Like every time we post a new monthly sale, we get at least one buy now, it seems, within a couple hours, if not a couple minutes of the sale going live.
Yeah, I won't name any names in the next story I'm about to tell, but I was talking to a breeder one day, and he was talking about how he has enough Longhorns, he doesn't need to purchase anymore, going on about that, and managing the herd that he has of hundreds of Longhorns. The next day, we opened up the next monthly sale, and within, I believe it was 7 minutes of us opening the sale, he had already purchased another animal using the buy now option. So that was funny, and I had to give him a call and tease him a little bit about using the buy now feature.
Well, here's a few more stats as well. So the average age for the animals sold in the Hired Hand monthly sale was 3.5 years old. The total number of views on Hired Hand was 14,858. And the total number of views of just the sold animals on each of their individual ranch websites after the fact was 2,810. So obviously our goal with having the sale is not only to give our customers another outlet to market their animals and make more sales, but also to drive more traffic to their websites. And so with those numbers, hopefully those who are participating consistently are seeing that put to work for them.
The highest viewed animal that sold was J.R. Gay, consigned by High Desert Longhorns, and that animal had 649 hits on Hired Hand.
So there were also 7 animals sold during the monthly sales that were the top viewed pages on our customers' personal Hired Hand websites during that month of the sale. So for example, GLH50TEU, entered into our sale by Gary Hirschberger of Hirschberger Cattle, was the number 1 viewed animal and number 1 viewed page on their ranch website, hirschbergercattle.com. By entering that cow in the Hired Hand Live monthly sale, he drove an extra 200 website visitors to his website in January when that animal was consigned, and she ended up selling for $8,000.
Another fun stat is that 70% of animals sold drove enough traffic to the branch's website directly because of placing an animal in the hired hand monthly sale that the entry animals page was in the top 10 pages viewed on their website during the month that they consigned.
The most animals were purchased during the months of May, where 8 animals were purchased, October with 7, and January with 6. So this stat was kind of interesting to Jaymie and I because we thought perhaps that the months where there were the most live sales, the internet sales would slow down a little bit. But according to the data, they remained about the same. And we thought maybe that, with folks looking at Hired Hand Live for the live sales that were using us, they came across the monthly sale and then found some animals that they wanted to add to their herd in that way. And then also with January being one of those months, we really encourage anyone who hasn't tried the monthly sale yet and is our customer to get that entry form filled out by the 15th of December so that you can put an animal in the January sale and see how it works for you.
There were also 7 hired hand customers who sold more than one animal this year, making upwards of $17,000.
So I feel like there's a joke in here somewhere about how it more than enough pays for your website if you put an animal in the sale.
I think so. It definitely worked out for quite a few of the people who entered animals.
So this last group of stats we're going to go over, we're not going to share the ranch names because we didn't get permission beforehand, but we are just going to go over a few of the dollar amounts and number of animals that kind of made the top list. So we had one website customer who sold 2 animals for $17,000, as we mentioned, and another one who sold 2 animals for $16,000.
Another ranch made a sale for $5,000, another for $4,500. Another one who sold 2 animals that sold for just over $3,700. So it definitely is out there and it's working for people. And it's fun to see when those buy now notifications come through, or when, at the end of the month when we get to mark all those animals for sold to tell the buyers and the sellers that, the sale is finalized.
And one of the most heartwarming stories, at least for Jaymie and I, we have a website customer who sold 2 animals within the first few months of his site going live, just right away, back to back. He made right around $2,000 and he is only 10 years old. And so to see, someone that young, not only working a website to try to market his herd, but also participating in the monthly sales and successfully listing the animals at a price where they moved really quickly. That was just so fun to see.
Yeah, I think he was pretty excited, and maybe I think that was a little unexpected for him too. He was surprised.
Well, a few more reminders here before we wrap up today's episode. First of all, we would encourage everyone listening to go ahead and send us a text through the fan mail portion of our podcast on whatever platform you're listening, and just let us know what sale you're looking forward to the most for 2025, whether it be one that you haven't been able to attend and are going to go to for the first time. Maybe you have an animal consigned to one that you're really excited about. We would love to hear from you about just which events you're looking forward to next year.
And just a reminder to our website customers, if you do want to participate in the monthly sales, to have your animals submitted by the 15th of the prior month to be in the following month's sale.
And then for those of you who might not be familiar, every Monday we put out a recap of the previous weekend's sale stats that we worked. So a lot of the same numbers we went over today, we go over for each sale. So we encourage you to listen to that. And then every Tuesday, the week of a sale that we're attending for Hired Hand Live, we interview sale hosts and ask them to get to talking about the consignments, what they have planned for the weekend, what makes their sale special. And it's some really good information to listen to while you're driving to the sale, if you're going to attend or if you're trying to decide if you're going to make the trip to the sale. So we encourage you to set notifications for those Tuesdays pre-sale recaps as well.
As always, thank you for joining us, and we'll talk to you soon.
From the Pasture by Hired Hand is presented by R3 Hilltop Ranch. Located in Chilton, Texas, R3 Hilltop Ranch has been breeding registered Texas longhorns since 2006. What began as 3 heifers has grown into our current herd, which you can explore on our website at r3hilltop.com. We're passionate about loud colors, longhorns, and docile temperaments, but it's the easy-keeping, low-maintenance traits of Texas longhorns that initially attracted us and continue to drive our herd growth. In addition to livestock, we proudly offer certified Longhorn beef products. Visit r3hilltop.com/beef to learn more. Thank you for listening and enjoy exploring our ranch online at r3hilltop.com.
Hey, if you love From the Pasture with Hired Hand, why not go check out my podcast, The Big Iron Podcast with Andrew Shigori, where we dive into the world of registered Texas Longhorns and what it means to be an agriculture entrepreneur in the modern world, with a little southern flair, of course. Find the Big Iron Podcast wherever you get your podcasts.